Well, good afternoon from Norwalk, Connecticut on this incredibly muggy and steamy day without the slightest breeze. But anyway, prescription drug commercials always crack me up. They're as ridiculous as the made up drugs themselves, with people dancing around seemingly in ecstasy on the beach or at a barbecue, living it up since they can now lower their A1C, or at least they think they can. The pharmaceutical industry is notorious for creating a drug first and then creating the symptom. Remember restless leg syndrome? And it seems that they come up with a new drug every other week. And I'm sorry, I just don't buy into it. And there are two things in the world to make this very simple. One is music, and two is everything else. So I'm such a music fanatic. Got into a discussion with some friends about the best scene in a movie, and I always fall back to the scene in Goodfellas with Robert De Niro. At the bar, smoking a cigarette and deciding what to do next with the song Sunshine of Your Love playing in the background. An epic scene, and Martin Scorsese could not have come up with a better song for that clip. Though what he was thinking at the time, I don't know, but I'm sure it had nothing to do with Sunshine or Love. My wife and I recently went to the NICE Festival. And NICE stands for the Norwalk International Cultural Exchange. It was a few weeks ago, which featured music and dancing from all over the world. And so my wife decided to check on some of the food offerings. And she was gone for quite some time. And one of the people sitting next to us asked, "Where did your wife go?" And I told them that I think she finally left me. And I'm surprised that she didn't do this years ago. It's a good place to discard me at a jam packed festival. I'll probably never see her again, but she did return eventually. And Rocco's Bakery in New Haven closed after more than 40 years ago, which was a spectacular bakery, top notch, and it could hold its own with any bakery in the country. And we've been to Little Italy on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, Little Italy in Manhattan, and it's a toss up. The Cicola bread, the Schwoyadel, the pasticciato, the bomboloni, the zeppoli, the castagnoli, the chocolate lemon pies, the scaturcio, and a pastry, at least in New Haven, that was called a boogernaut. If after all this time I was saying it incorrectly due to a regional factory, but when I asked for it, I got it. All of them were unbelievably great to die for. God, I'm going to miss that place. I think a lot of other people are too. And we first heard of the news on July 1st at a party. I'll never forget that day. We were stunned and yelling, "What? No way. This can't be. This is tragic. What are we supposed to do now?" We have to travel into New York to get good products, anyways, good pastry. If we could only open it up again, a devastating loss for so many people in Connecticut. And for anyone else who has ever visited Rocco's Bakery, they know what I'm talking about. The three worst words in any language are "it's too late," especially pertaining to global warming. We can't pack up our things and move to another planet, as Elon Musk claims. Yeah, good luck with that. And George Lukács, the Hungarian philosopher, states that the novel is a form of transcendental homelessness. And Martin Schiller, the author and poet, claims that the storyteller keeps faith with it, and his eyes do not stray from that dial in front of which there moves the procession of creatures of which, depending on the circumstances, death is either the leader, or the last wretched straggler. It's so hot today. It's like I can't even talk. I watched a show recently on PBS, public broadcasting, and it was titled Your Brain, Who's in Control? One of the many broadcasts from the Nova Science Trust. A fascinating show, and reducing it to its basic fundamentals, it seems as though we're not as much in control of what we do and what we say as we think, which I'm not surprised at. Life as we know is quite complicated, and I can relate to this concept since I find that what I do and say often surprises me. And as I step back and review the scenario, I'm like, why did I do or say that? After all, there are billions of interacting brain cells, and we have to react, think, and prepare within the continual, ever flowing stream of stimuli and information that never stops, even so in our dreams. But there is one thing that I'm always aware of: I'm a total idiot who's getting worse every day, and whoever or whatever is in control of my brain and nervous system is not doing a very good job. But c'est la vie. I don't know where we come from, don't know where we're going to, but if all this should have a reason, we would be the last to know. So let's just hope there is a promised land. Hang on till then as best you can. These are lyrics from Rock Me by the band Steppenwolf from 1969. And Marcel Proust, the French writer, coined the phrase mémoire involontaire or involuntary memory, which is part of the inventory of the individual, which is isolated in many ways. Where there is experience in the strictest sense of the word, certain contents of the individual past combine with the material of the collective past and keep producing the union or combination of these two elements of memory over and over again. The reason I bring this up is that this is something that I'm fascinated with since I always find that when I'm engaged in a discussion, my involuntary memory kicks in as long as the conversation is relatable. They trigger recollections and remain handles of a memory for a lifetime. And although my memory is not as good as it once was, the involuntary memory activates when a distinct or familiar topic is spoken, and I somehow have a fairly large bank of memories to relate, since, of course, the memories of my youth don't seem to dissipate, at least not yet. And I will end here.